Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Kraise Presents Call of Cthulhu. Now I know we saw that last bit again on the episode, but that's just where it saves, so I thought I'd show you guys again. These guys are talking down there. Now we're going to do exactly that. We're going to find this guy a drink. Let's go and see what these guys are up to.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
Now we saw you die.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Yeah, it's a shame we can't do that. Yeah.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
Yeah.
I heard you talking earlier.
Why am I not surprised?
I get the impression you two don't get along.
Intrusive and not very clever. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
Bradley,
Okay.
what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital, and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Interesting. Let's talk to Colin.
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
He was the
Powerful
captain, in
families
fact.
dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
Yeah.
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
They were having visions, I would imagine.
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes, I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins. And that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
You wouldn't believe me if I
Sure,
told
can
you.
explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I
do.
didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
That's true.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well.
Oh,
I'll
interesting.
go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll
do my best, absolutely.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
I'm
The other
assuming you'll
night's
say the
events
same.
are still confused in my head.
Yeah, you died, mate. Ah, a drink. I love the way he swirls it round first. Right, is there anything else here? Doesn't look like it. No, okay. Which way to go? Yeah, no, do you know what? I do want to have a look around. I want to see what doors we can get into in here and then why. Okay. Huh, that looks cool. Alright, we'll go out this way. Pierce, Colden and Bradley have decided to team up to solve the Sarah Hawkins case. They have a new trail to follow. Francis Sanders, an art collector and friend of the painter who died right in front of Pierce. The detective goes to his house in order to speak to his widow about the shambler, but the unfortunate man mentioned before he died. Nice looking room there. Creepy, but nice looking.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here.
Hi. I wonder if that's
You
her
know each
daughter.
other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
Well, if your
I
business
bump
wasn't
into
everywhere
her
else.
every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your
Yet.
husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
I don't have any control here.
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
What did they tell you?
I expected to find you more grief-stricken than this by the death of your husband.
I do not like the tone of your allusion, sir.
No
I
illusion.
had long months to weep every tear in my body, and to accept, if not my fate, at least that of my husband. And so I'm sorry to disappoint you if you're expecting more hysteria and grieving widow in my voice. Rest assured, however, my anger is real.
Good.
I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
Yeah, let's do that.
Mrs. Sanders, I understand your grief, and I extend my deepest condolences to you. But I had nothing to do with the death of your husband. I've just arrived on Darkwater. I'm investigating the death of the Hawkins family.
The death of the Hawkins family? You mean it was not an accident?
No.
This accursed island knows only tragedy after tragedy. You too would be advised to flee it like the plague. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Yeah.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Yeah, I've got control back. There's a couple of things here to look at.
Did she really care for him, after all?
Dear Madam, I acknowledge your seal in which you demand the body of your deceased husband. I'm sorry to inform you that I cannot agree to return this body to you. At the moment of his interment, you signed a discharge allowing me to dispose of this body as I see fit. I extend my deepest condolences. So they destroyed the body.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Okay. And we can investigate.
A house of artists. A house of artists.
Okay.
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
Yeah, maybe. Nothing behind there.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
Interesting.
He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
Certainly sounds like it. Mind you, who wouldn't be? It's all she is all he spoke about. Ouch.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
You need to be sure about that, mate. Ah, more medicine. Good. Actually, let's see how we're doing with that. I haven't seen it for a bit. We're nearly there. Nearly there with that as well. Do we have any points? Yes, 5. I can put 1 in there. 1 in there. 2 in there. And 1 in there. Because it seems you don't need to actually have it at a certain level, you just need to have it at a percentage. And all of them are around 50% now. Okay, that's fine. We haven't done strength for a bit, so... Right, okay, let's do this properly, just in case there's anything we're missing. Okay, that's where we came in. Fine.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Okay.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes.
Okay.
I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Okay. Okay, so...
The strange Amerindian pendant.
We've taken it.
I could use one of those.
Sleeping pills. No drawers to go through.
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Okay, this volume spends some time on Reverend Wickham's community, Wickwood's. His wife expresses her worries about the strange dreams that the Reverend's congregation are having since their arrival on the island. Some of the members of the community, her husband included, began to speak of their visions as a messenger sent by God. She is scared that they will suffer the same fate as the lost tribe.
Strange.
Dear Francis, I
For
beg you to give
months,
over your hope
Sarah Hawkins
for ever
refused
owning
to
this
part
accursed
with her
painting.
painting.
If our friendship
Finally
has any
give it away
meaning,
for nothing.
please spare me the weight of guilt. I cannot be the architect of your fall. I beg you, my dear friend, forget the Shambler. If you don't know what the Shambler is, by the way, I would recommend reading it up. Oh. More medical? Good. We can't not really, can we? That's too tempting a thing. Kind of encyclopedia of monstrous and unknown creatures. I begin to believe that they exist. This will affect your destiny. Whoa. The hell was that? My occultism just went up. Excellent. We have a key. Hello.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what's worrying you.
Worry me? Don't overestimate yourself.
Then why
If
are
the
you so
last
worried?
beating wasn't enough for you, I can always give it another go. But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network, and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
No.
Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
Oh, we get to hide. Blimey, it's a big house. This is a big gallery.
The public entrance to the gallery.
Fine.
Why was he so interested in old weapons? Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Shame I can't pick them up, really. Damn. Ugly. Oh, nice. Filled it all up.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Excuse me. Okay. Ah, Beethoven. Yeah, there's a shambler. We'll go and look at that in a minute. Okay, so more oil. I have a feeling we're going to be in here again at some point in the future. Beautiful. I love that.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Okay. Let's have a look at this shambler. We're probably going to lose some sanity here, I'll be willing to bet. Oh, didn't spot this one. Oh yes it is. So what is that? It's more of that writing that we saw on that dude's arm and on the statue. I still think it was that bloke in there, man. He's dodgy as hell. I can't actually see anything. Okay, that's not creepy at all. Well. Boo. Okay, so now we've got to be
What the
very,
hell was
very,
that?
very, very careful. Where is it? There it is. Okay.
Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Or that one. Now, I'm thinking, do you know what? If we have a look... Whew, good job we can actually pause it here, truthfully. In the tunnels under the Hawkins mansion, Pierce witnessed the disemboweling of Officer Bradley by a man of monstrous appearance. The men in gowns and their rituals had not succeeded in affecting the veteran. However, the brutal death of Bradley, the discovery of the identity of his killer, whom he recognised as Charles Hawkins, as well as the latter's superhuman strength, managed to strike fear into him. Pierce does still not know if he should believe what he saw. And we've got this one. Searching through the cellars of the Riverside Institute, into the room that he first took to be a morgue, but the advanced state of decay of the corpses that lay about him quickly made him realise he was wrong. Nothing could justify the presence of such a carnal house and hospital, putrid smell and total absence of respect for human life. Shocked Pierce, costing him some sanity. So this is a sanity meter, you don't want to get too much of that. The weirdness of Francis Saunders' death went far beyond anything Pierce had ever seen. Lifted off his feet by an invisible force, the poor man's body was carried into the air before being thrown violently against bars of his hiding place. Pierce, powerless, watched limbs break, Saunders' body crumpled to the ground. During long moments of agony, the detective saw nothing that would explain this event. Weakened by his wounds and the operations he could remember undergoing, Pierce begins to question his ability to tell the difference between reality and the nightmares that haunt him. Yep, fair play. Pierce read an ancient treatise, the Millennius Bestiarum. This bestiary makes an inventory of numerous creatures from the occult world of the paranormal dimensions. The very nature of this knowledge makes it an unholy book. By reading it, Pierce has lost some of its sanity. We're still stable though. Oh yeah, we can see we're losing. Never seen that before. Look at that. Okay. Charles Hawkins. Doctor deceased. Dr. Fuller and her. Now, what I want to know is whether we can read this. Yeah, I don't know what that is yet. Shame. B series not coming up. There you are. Shame. Okay, so whatever that is, it doesn't work. Okay. I had a feeling that may be the case.
What the hell was that?
Okay, we'll try that again. Now, here's the thing. We need to move. We need to go over there. Drawing away.
Is this dagger part
Okay.
of Sanders' collection?
So this
or
I
was he
found.
seeking to acquire it?
Far from possessing the talents of Sarah Hawkins, Saunders drew a dagger with a tortured form down the smallest detail. The guard carries a strange historic symbol, a recurring feature of his correspondence with Sarah. Okay, so this dude. No, it's not that one. It's not that one. Could be that one.
Down. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Okay. Oops. Let's have a look, because we just found that. No, it's not this one. Whoa! Okay. No. Yeah, that's it.
This dagger looks different.
Okay, let's see what it does. Ah, god damn it. Okay. Now,
What
I've
the
tried
hell
this a
was
couple of
that?
times. The idea is that we have to get a dagger. The picture of the dagger is over there. Crap. Now, this bit is
What the hell was that?
irritating. I've found, because I've done this a couple of times, but I've kind of edited it out for you guys, or at least I'm going to. I found a piece of paper over there that shows me, bugger, that shows me the picture of a dagger. Let's just stay here and stay quiet. Alright, come on, follow me. Okay.
Is this dagger
here's the
part
dagger.
of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
Far from possessing the talents of Sarah Hawkins, Sanders drew a dagger with a tortured form down to the smallest detail. The guard carries a strange historic symbol, a recurring feature to his correspondence with Sarah. So, now, where is the git? There it is. probably can't see me here. So he's literally right there. Come on, we need to run. Phew. Well, this bit isn't irritating at all. While the going's good, we're going to have a look at some of these deckers. No, not that one. No, not that one. There he is. And he decides to come this way. Okay, so it's not that one. Whew, man, this is intense. Okay, so it's got 2 prongs. That one's got loads, so it's not that one. That's only got 1. That's only got 1. Okay. That's only got 1. That's only got 1. God damn it. God damn it. Okay, let's get in here. What we need is in this room somewhere. So it's going to have to be one of those 2 back ones. Crikey, I'm freaking out in here. problem is with the music, I can't actually hear anything. Ah, this is it.
Damn. This dagger looks different.
Okay. I've got the dagger. Now what do I do with it? Does the clue say anything, I wonder? Okay, so we don't have the dagger in our inventory. That's a bit of a pain. Phew, okay. There you are. Hello. Okay. It's not the right dagger to me. Question is, what do we do with it? Okay. Well, okay, so...
What the hell was that?
Okay, so here's the thing. I've done this a couple of times, which I've edited out for you guys, because it's been quite a few times. Here's the thing. We've got there's a piece of paper over there that we need, because it shows us a picture of a dagger. God damn it. Okay.
Is this dagger harmless?
Right, so here's the dagger.
What was he seeking?
It's got two blades, pretty much, and two bits that come out. Where is he?
One single chicken breast. Do you want it out for dinner tomorrow?
Thank you. Okay, time to run. Now, the dagger we need is in here somewhere. It's not that one. Now, it's this one.
Damn. This dagger looks different.
The thing is, I honestly don't know what to do with it. I'm wondering if I need to hit the... Oh, it's glowing.
What's the matter with you?
Okay, that was freaky.
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Yes, most certainly you did.
Sanders was right. This painting is cursed.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free
Yeah,
information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off.
Ah, so you
Now
sent
go
me in
see your
here.
antique seller. I still got things to settle with Irene.
Dang. Whew. Well, I have to say, that bit was very intense. To be fair, you didn't see it, but I actually had tried that a good few times before I actually worked out what the hell to do. Whew. Man, that was very intense. Okay, the Shambler turned out to be much more than an artwork painted by Sarah Hawkins, as a huge creature came out of the painting to attack Pierce. After a hard fight, the detective managed to send it back into the painting. Later discovered that the dagger was used to repel the creature had been sold to Sanders by a man named Algernon Drake, owner of the nameless bookstore. Pierce decides to pay the library a visit. Yeah, because why wouldn't you? Ah, that's not a good sign. Hello? Anybody in here?
Where's the bookseller?
Okay.
Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
Yep. Indeed it did. Oh, we got medicine upgrade. Good. Okay. More of that, the better.
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
The pastor declared himself to be the prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan entity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to the voice in his head because it told the truth. Okay. Whatever you say, Mac. All sorts of weird and wonderful things in here. Blimey. Handmade anatomy book. Okay. Medicine goes up again. Good. Okay. It doesn't look like anyone's home. Darkwater History. Harry Campbell, Volume 4. In the 19th century, as the American whaling industry reached its peak in the rest of the world, whales gradually disappeared from water surrounding Darkwater. This phenomenon appears to be even more mysterious because, up until then, the region was a favoured refuge for cetaceans. In 1847, after a month of pursuit, Cthulhu returns to the port with a gigantic creature on board. Its crew asserts that the sea monster had eaten all the disappeared whales. After a night of ferocious combat, the survivors managed to drag the beast into the whaling ship. Man versus monster. Man wins. Because to kill a monster, you have to be a monster. Damn, look at some of this stuff. This guy was either up. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, let's shine some light around here, shall we? There is plenty of light around, but you know.
What happened here?
Oh, naked lady. More medicine. Okay.
Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work.
Indeed. Someone wanted to get in very badly and very quickly.
This burglar seems to be rather clumsy.
Nothing around there.
Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably.
Okay, it's a couple of
What
things
killed
here.
all these animals?
Yeah, rats, bugs, beetles, all sorts.
What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene?
So a very desperate one.
What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What the? Charles Hawkins? What's happening to Hawkins? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess?
Well, you've seen it, mate.
Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe.
But what?
Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case.
Alright, let's make sure we haven't forgotten anything. I think we've gone a little bit crazy as well. Yeah, we're done. I think we did alright there too. Let's go back and see if we can... There's something around here that will give us... Ah, yes, of course, we saw it, didn't we?
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Right, a page seems to be hidden here. It's possible to read. If someone finds these memoirs, there will be no doubt that I am in serious trouble. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still on this plane of reality, in order that they are recovered and burned. The funeral honour must be given to my dear mother, if she is still in this world. The following message is of capital importance. Whoever reads these lines and demonstrates acuity as sharp as mine, can hope to gain access to my most precious possession. It lies within my safe, and the clues to the combination are to be found in 3 cylinders, each hidden where my life and study combine in the Greek world. Each cylinder is numbered, even if, as the celebrated author says, order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the light of the imagination. Indeed, despite my reference for organised chaos, I must admit that reason usually prevails in the end. If by chance a person, or should I say genius, was to match my intellect and find the combination of the safe, I would ask they deliver its contents into the safekeeping of a friend and colleague, Professor Armitage of Miskatonic University. The content of this safe is not only a vast digest of knowledge, but also a weapon, and thus far too dangerous for it to fall into the wrong hands. I hope you'll be able to appreciate the danger that this represents and will act according. In any event, I will neither be there to guide you nor suffer from your actions. And the clues to the combination are to be found in 3 cylinders, each where my life and study combine in the Greek world.
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
This key that bears the Elder sign is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion hanging at the end of a heavy chain. Hundreds of years ago, the star and branch, whose purpose is to push back the forces of the great old ones, were engraved in its centre. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from its last owner, an Egyptian antique dealer. In press cuttings, the mention of misdemeanor, the date of the robbery, and coincides with the last Hawkins trip to Cairo. It remains to be seen whether he knows the true purpose. The key of relay. Okay.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
Yeah, clearly. Okay, so combines to the Greek key of relay.
Arkham editions. Never heard of them.
Solomon. A book of spells supposedly written by the legendary King Solomon. It contains various rituals, invocations, and rituals of curse. The re-edition by Claudia D. Waits, based on L.W. The volume is part of Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on esotericism and the supernatural.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Open in 8 acts. It is said to be that the opera was performed only once, resulting in an audience riot that left several dead and missing. Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection, yeah.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
A collection of long-term astrological predictions written in verse, written by Nostradamus.
Arkham Editions. Never heard of him.
Written in different beliefs, was written by a legendary philosopher. It includes a translation of the Emerald Tablet, a popular text of 16th century alchemists. Arthur Anthology.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Written by Frisian manuscript, translated by, the text claims that in the distant past, Europe and other continents were controlled by the mothers of the people, and moreover, that our alphabet is derived from the Frisian language.
Another volume by Arkham
I get
Editions.
I get it. American folklore, nope.
Arkham Editions. Never heard of him.
So, the numbers here.
How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions.
9. Azazoth and Other Horrors. Collection of poems by Edward Pickman Derby. So it's not 9.
Arkham Editions. Never heard of him.
It's not 7.
How many
ISIS.
volumes are there in this collection?
Oops, sorry.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
No, it's not 8. So 7.
Arkham Editions? Never heard of him.
6.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
761.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
No, it's not 3. 761 so far. Are possibilities.
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them. The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion.
Okay, cultism progress. We like it. More medicine. There's a lot of medicine here. Darkwater Chapter 2. Led by Reverend John Wickwood, settled on the island during the 17th century. The name of the island Darkwater because of the dark shades of the sea. They believe it was because of peculiar colours of the rocks surrounding the island. They erected the first buildings, among which were Hawkins Manor, the church, and the cemetery. The rare documents and handwritten notes they left spoke of nightmares and deviant behaviours. They disappeared at the beginning of the 18th century. Okay, so far, I'm thinking
Kind of chalice.
the goblet seems to be very ancient. It seems to be made of gold and decorated with real precious stones. Do the rubies and sapphires make a specific motif? Oh dear.
A kind of chalice.
But we can't pick it up. We'll take it with us, which is a bit of a shame because I'm sure it's worth a fortune.
Things are not looking good.
No, indeed. Okay. Okay.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Okay.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Okay. So there's 4 white pieces.
The chalice of knowledge.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so start from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See the crack.
So these are the volumes that Drake was taught. What did Drake say about this collection?
Okay. So 9, 4. I wonder if it's 4, 9. Okay,
A strange amulet. I have a feeling I'd better not touch it.
strange amulet. The pendant is in the shape of a large dog. I know what it represents. I might find out more by searching the bookstore. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
What does this strange book contain? This book contains unholy
there you go.
knowledge.
Malarious bestiarium. Represents itself as a myth, given the details and mythology which it prefers. The pages covered with phantasmagorical illustrations. What a word that is. Good. Cultism's going up. My madness is as well. I've got to be careful of that.
The Queen has
Well,
little protection. The Queen has little protection.
There is one place she can move that she's safe.
The Chalice of Knowledge.
So there's 5 of each.
And these red drops, like precious
Ah, yes,
stones,
there's
lie
5,
fixed,
okay.
set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attraction.
So there's 5.
And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Oops. Okay, so 4 pieces. So
Drake
volume
talked
9.
about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
Also known as Nightmare Lyrics, this collection of poems was sensationally received when first published in 1908. Davy was only 18. Azazoth and Other Horrors. And 9. So I'm wondering if it's the 4 that's wrong. So we'll go to 9. There you go. The 4 was wrong. Five, 3. Oh yeah, of course, because it's 3 pieces that are guarding the queen. 5, 3, 9. Okay, in the Nameless bookstore, Pierce traced the trail of an attempted burglary. He discovers that Charles Hawkins was behind the attempt. Pierce opened the bookseller's safe and found what the letter and Sarah Hawkins had hidden there. A book covered in human skin, lied inside. Irresistibly attracted the detective. When he opened it, his mind was projected into another body. That's not weird at all. That's not weird at all. Okay. Now, okay.
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
This lot you're going to see on the next episode anyway, guys, so I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you very, very much for joining me.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do.
I'm Colden.
Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Okay, so we're going to have to do this lot again anyway. Thank you very, very much for joining me, people. I will see you guys on the next episode. Please do join me. Man, that episode was just freaky deaky. I love all the puzzles. So please do subscribe if you haven't already. Please do join me on Twitter as well at Kraise. And yeah, we'll see you again in the next episode. Take care now, people. Bye-bye.